Welcome, everybody, to the first ever edition of the Poly Sports Podcast. I'll be one of your hosts for today's episode, and my name is Jonathan Frias. You can check it out right there. And I'm currently a staff writer for the Poly Post. Today, I'll be joined by two fellow Broncos.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Arturo Aguirre. I am also a staff writer for the Poly Post. And in this episode, we're talking about Super Bowl 55, Mahomes versus Brady, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hey everyone, Valdez here, another staff writer here at the Poly Post. And with all that being said, let's get right into it. Our first topic of the day is Chiefs superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Is he really worthy of all this greatest of all time talk? Now heading into Super Bowl 55. Jonathan, take it away.
All right. Is Mahomes worthy of the GOAT chatter? Man, I got to start off with this. Like, we live in this world currently where validation is everything. Everyone has an opinion now. You see it in Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is. There's this like validation people get where it's like, if I tweeted something, like people will be tweeting out as soon as Patrick Mahomes was drafted, oh, he's the GOAT. It's not that simple, guys. I'm going to provide some context here of how it's not really that rare Mahomes' start is. So here, let me take you back to 1999. The Philadelphia Eagles hired Andy Reid as their head coach. And with their first round selection, they drafted Donovan McNabb. I don't know if you guys might have heard of him. If not, let me give you a brief summary. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler. He holds multiple Philadelphia Eagles passing records. And he had success under Andy Reid in his early years. And so now we fast forward some more context on Andy Reid before I go straight into Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs hired Andy Reid in 2013. You guys know what they were? 2012. They were 2-14 with the number 1 overall pick. You know what they were their first year under Andy Reid? They were 11-5. That's a 9-game difference. 9-game difference. And there was no Mahomes. Andy Reid was there. All right. So now let's, you guys got this flowing. You guys understand where I'm going. Andy Reid is you see this with him. He takes young quarterbacks and he's going to get the most out of them right away. So the Chiefs, where were they? What did they have? The year before Patrick Mahomes was drafted, they were 12-4. They had 7 Pro Bowlers on that roster, 5 All-Pros. This is already a stacked team. They just felt like they needed a quarterback. So go draft a quarterback. The next year, they draft Patrick Mahomes. Year 2017, Patrick Mahomes was taken in the first round. Did he play his rookie year? No. Like Donovan McNabb. It's fine. It's perfect. You don't see it a lot nowadays, but, it benefits him to sit behind Alex Smith, a very intelligent quarterback, a former number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. So it helped him. He was able to learn, grow, and Andy Reid taught him his rookie year. Now his first year starting, they go 12-4. They lose in the AFC Championship game. It's very similar to Donovan McNabb. You see the flashes. You see everything that he's able to do under Andy Reid. Now, my biggest thing is he worthy of GOAT chatter? Well, the game isn't played till Sunday. So as of right now, no. We don't know if he's won. The game's not till Sunday, like I said. Mm-hmm. So as of right now, he's not worthy of the GOAT chatter. He's only won. He's practically had a similar start to Donovan McNabb. Now, obviously, he's had a little bit more flashier plays. So, with all this being said, I've given my take, but I want to, make it super clear to everyone. I'm going to provide an analogy. Pop culture reference for everyone that's listening. In 2019, Kylie Jenner was named the first ever self-made billionaire. False. First self-made billionaire? Are you sure? I mean, she has all the resources around her. So naturally, there was a conversation, in the Twitter sphere, on social media, Instagram. Like, is she really the first self-made when she has all the resources around her?
Mm-hmm.
She has Kris Jenner, which will get every penny out of the Kardashian brand as long as she's alive.
True.
So this is what I have to say. Mahomes is Kylie Jenner. He has he has all the resources. He was a first round pick. Isn't he expected to do this for the most part? And then when you have Andy Reid, pardon me, Andy Reid being Kris Jenner, who milks everything out of his quarterbacks and gets them playing at the highest level rather quickly. I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure this is all expected when you have all the resources around you. And not to mention, Kylie Jenner had the Kardashian brand to help her. Well, you know what Patrick Mahomes has? He has one of the most electrifying wide receivers the National Football League has ever seen with Tyreek Hill. And that's not all, guys. He also has the best tight end in football right now. So what do you expect him to do? You expect him to have Andy Reid, two of the best offensive players in the offensive league, to go out there and suck? No. Expect him to do what he's doing. Now, down the road, we'll probably have the debate down the road. And I think, everyone's looking for the validation, like I said earlier. What about let the story play out? You know, when you read a book, you don't just jump to the end. You read a chapter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Read it. Let it develop. You need to know the beginning. So maybe down the road we'll have this conversation and I might change my mind. There are two things that I would like to point out to finish. Because I love Patrick Mahomes. He's electrifying and we'll see where he ends up. He's not the GOAT right now, but he has two things working in his favor. It's nothing sexy like arm strength, not his mobility, how fast he runs. It's his maturity and his awareness. It helps a lot because Patrick Mahomes, if you guys did not know this, his father was a major league pitcher. He played baseball. So he understands what it's like to have all the lights on you and the maturity. You're the starting quarterback for $1 billion franchise. You better be mature. You better have the awareness that you have one of the best offensive coaches of all time, and you have the resources with the stacked roster where you could practically just say, "Hey, you know what, Chiefs? You guys should just be the AFC Pro Bowl roster." So Mahomes, you have the awareness and the maturity. Now that's gonna carry you to where you possibly want to end up. But I'm not gonna rush into that. I'm gonna let his career play out. He's not the GOAT right now. Is he worthy of the GOAT chatter? No, he's not. Not yet. But it's down the road.
Well, Jonathan, I like the whole story tell of letting the story play out. But right now, Mahomes is worthy of that GOAT chat. Who's only in his fourth year in the league.
Mhm.
He is 25 right now. He got drafted, and you mentioned before him being a first rounder, and they're meant to start something out right now. But let's be for real. No one expected him to be as good as he is now when he did coming out of college. The plays that he's making now, out of this world. And for me, Mahomes is in line to be the greatest of all time. The debate is always going to be there. For Brady, he's proven it. He has nothing else to prove. In my eyes, he is the GOAT. But once there's a stigma of who is the GOAT, the next person in line is there to chase that title, and that person is Patrick Mahomes. And what he's accomplished in his 3 years in the postseason, granted, Brady in his first 3 years, 3 Super Bowl rings, where Mahomes only has his one. But at the same time, what Mahomes is doing at this rate, at this age, younger than Brady at that time, insurmountable. Yes, he has Tyreek Hill. Yes, he has Travis Kelce. But at the end of the day, to me, I feel like Patrick Mahomes is already in a position where he can win without them. He can make plays out of nothing. At the end of the day, it's not Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City and the Kansas City. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. And Mahomes has the trust, like you said, the maturity, the awareness to trust his teammates whenever they're open to make that big play. And whether it be Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey, but at the end of the day, they fall back on the rest of the team to pick up the slack if they were to mess up. And Mahomes is in a different era of football. Players are getting stronger. Players are getting faster. Yes, the league's getting a little softer in regards to the rules and regulations. It's hard to compare two great players in different eras. But I feel like with me, he and Andy Reid will be the next version of the Brady Belichick era. A dynamic duo of a head coach and a quarterback, the two most important positions on a football team, is something that will be needed for them to be that next great duo, in which is Mahomes and Reid, where Brady and Belichick at the time throughout the 2000s and 2010s were just dominating the NFL. As much as I didn't like seeing them, and I know you being a Patriots fan, seeing him in the heyday, seeing him dominate, it's a great sight to see. And obviously you're going to defend him and being the greatest of all time. But for me, he is the greatest of all time, but Mahomes is in line to do just that. If he wins this Sunday, and it's a good possibility he can because the Chiefs are the defending champions. They're there for a reason. If he wins on Sunday, he is in great position to be known, to be in consideration for GOAT talk, even at a younger age. That's how I see it, and that's how it's going to be.
Okay.
Alan,
Well,
what do you got to say
yeah.
about that?
What I have to say about that? The question really was, you know, is he worthy of all this greatest of all time talk this early in his career? I mean, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer that he is worthy of all
Thank
this
you.
greatest of all time talk.
Thank
I
you.
know Jonathan brought up a good point earlier.
He did.
Andy Reid can bring out the best in his quarterbacks. He brought up Donovan McNabb. He's a good player. He went to a lot of Pro Bowls or All Pros. But is he doing the type of things that Patrick Mahomes has done this early in his career? Like, let's bring up some, just a few stats here. Patrick Mahomes. He's the fastest player to reach 10,000 career passing yards. You know, he's the fastest QB to throw for 90 and then 100 touchdowns. Who was the previous record holder for that? It was Dan Marino, someone else that was, being talked about as one of the greatest of all time. You know, he didn't have that many Super Bowl, or he didn't have a Super Bowl ring, which kind of cost him. But we're talking about Mahomes and Brady here, so you know, is he the greatest of all time now? No, like we all know here. I think many of us here know that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. I don't think there can be a lot said about that. Brady is going to his 10th Super Bowl. He's looking for his seventh right now. But is Mahomes worthy right now in his career of this greatest of all time talk? I think it's a no-brainer. Like I said, you know, there's a lot of criteria for talking about the greatest of all time. Is it really like rings? Is it stats? But you know, Patrick Mahomes is doing everything. But like Jonathan said earlier, he has Tyreek Hill, one of the most electrifying players. He has Andy Reid. But like, could you tell me a team that's won a Super Bowl or created a dynasty that didn't have good players around them? Like, is there a team that can win without weapons on the offensive side or a great head coach? No. Like, a quarterback's definitely gonna get the most praise out of any team, but a quarterback can't win on its own. Elite superstar quarterback can't win on its own. So that's kind of my take on that. But like Arturo said, or like Jonathan said, it's kind of too early in his career. We gotta let his career play out. You don't want to read to the end. We gotta read each chapter. We don't just head towards the end. But um, yeah. But too
Yeah,
early in his career, anything can happen. But definitely, I think he is trending in the right direction, like Arturo said.
unfortunately, we're gonna have to move on. Before we do, though, I will say this: Mahomes loses, close the book because Brady's the goat.
I'll
And now
agree
we're
with
gonna go
that.
to the keys to victory, and we'll start. What are the keys to victory for the Chiefs? Arturo, to start with you.
All right, three simple things. The keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs to win this Sunday. Number one, can the Kansas City Chiefs defense hold Brady. That's a big thing because Brady's been there 10 times. He knows how to win in certain situations. So can the Chiefs hold it? I think so. Number two, Mahomes magic. We know when he's down, this is where the beast in Mahomes comes out. And if he's down, he knows there's something in that bag that he's gonna bring out and change the whole game completely. And number three, capitalize on the turnovers. We saw Brady throw 3 picks against Green Bay, and Green Bay did not capitalize on that. If the defense of Kansas City can put Brady into trouble and they can capitalize on that on the offensive side, it should be no problem for the Chiefs to win on this Sunday. Alan, what do you think?
Three keys to victory for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like you said, I think number one for me personally, I think they got to keep up their good pass defense. I think you guys both watched the game last week against the Bills. I think Tony Romo was kind of pointing out that every time Josh Allen scrambled out of the pass rush, he was looking. He bought a lot of time for the offense to play it out, but everyone was like Tony Romo was saying, he was everyone was sticky. Like their their pass defense was so good that no one was open, even though Josh Allen was scrambling the whole time. He was buying time. No one was open, and he couldn't find his receivers. But that's my number one take on that. And number two, I think you got to force Brady out of the pocket and make him throw under pressure. Last game Tom Brady didn't play his best. I think we both know that he did not really outplay
True.
Aaron Rodgers to win the NFC Championship.
True.
He threw 3 interceptions that game, and I think he could have thrown a lot more interceptions. So you got to pressure Brady. He's still good, like he's still Brady, but he's not the Brady of old. So
True.
you gotta pressure him, make him, throw under pressure, and maybe you can beat him that way. And my last one is don't let Tampa get out of the gates fast. I know Kansas City is usually a slow starting team. I'm pretty sure I saw an article a while back. One of their main points for this postseason was not getting off to slow starts, because I know what do you say? But yeah, they've been starting slow every time in the postseason. So they want to eliminate that. And then on the other side of the ball, we have Tampa, who's I guess starter, and I guess you don't want them to get off to a good start, and then you don't want to get them to a slow start either. So you don't want to get behind early. But we all know that Kansas can win the game in one quarter and go on a roll. But that's my three takes for victory.
Yes, and my three takes specifically for the Chiefs,
Mhm.
it's gonna come down to the running backs. Their offensive line has been dealing with injuries throughout the season.
That is true.
AFC Championship, they lost their left tackle. He tore his Achilles. He's not going to be in the Super Bowl. He's not starting. He's done. So when I mean the running backs, I don't necessarily expect them to have a big game running the ball. I'm talking about pass protection. Are you going to be able to step up and take Devin White or Levante David, the Buccaneers' two-star linebackers? Are you going to be able to step up and take a hit and protect Patrick Mahomes? Because I'm pretty sure the Buccaneers, one of their keys, and it's a hint, they need to get to Patrick Mahomes. They can't let him just sit there and pick their defense apart. My second key is Travis Kelce. How is Travis Kelce going to be used? It's similar in the aspect of the running backs. Are they going to be keeping him in more to block, to protect him, to just, block for a quick second, give Patrick Mahomes time, and then you go out for a pass? Will that affect them? Will other receivers need to step up to allow Travis Kelce and Mahomes, mainly Mahomes, allow Mahomes to have the time that he needs to deliver a pass? So possibly having Travis Kelce stay in to block, is that going to limit the Chiefs' passing game in total? Because I'm pretty sure the running game is going to be non-existent against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive front.
Yeah.
If you're going to put it all on Mahomes, you got to protect him then. Running backs, tight ends, will you protect him? Now, let's move on to the Buccaneers' keys to victory. And Alan, we'll start with you.
Kind of reiterating, a point I said earlier. I think Brady has to play well this game. You
Yes.
know, if he wants to win his seventh Super Bowl, I think he has to keep up with that Kansas City Chiefs offense, because you can't stop. I mean, you can't stop the Kansas City Chiefs offense. You can like only hope to contain them. So if you want to beat them, you gotta keep up with them. You gotta outsling the ball, And then also, like I said, he has to play well. He can't be throwing 3 interceptions because I know Green Bay didn't really capitalize on it, last week or 2 weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure the Kansas City Chiefs can capitalize on his interception. So, and like I said, don't let Kansas City get on the roll here. Uh, Against the Bills, they didn't score in the first quarter. They scored 38 in the last 3 quarters. So, like I said, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is really dynamic. You guys pointed that out earlier, but I think you can't like I said, you can't stop it. You can get stops in between their scores. That's kind of how you can stop them, but once they get on a roll, it's kind of just difficult to stop them. So don't let them get on a roll here. And then my last take here is not really a key to a victory, but something that can help them, win. You're in a home Super Bowl. You're playing in Tampa Bay.
It's true. That
You're
is
playing in
true.
Tampa Bay. Like it's a home Super Bowl for you. It's familiar. Like the stadium's familiar. Your surroundings are familiar. You're sleeping in your bed the night before the Super Bowl. You're in familiar territory, so like feed off that crowd energy. I know like a Polypost article just came out, written by me by the way, but that COVID restrictions on
But
the Super Bowl. I know there's not going to be that many fans in the stadium, like 20 under 20% capacity, and I know some of the fans are like first line medical workers, and not really the hardcore fans that come to games every week. So like I said, you still have that advantage of having a home Super Bowl. So feed off that crowd energy. Like I said, you have your familiar surroundings, and that can be enough to motivate you to win the Super Bowl.
all right. Well, I'll go next. And Alan, you've made some pretty good points, especially that third one with being at the home. That's not one of my points, but for me, what the Bucks, the three keys for them to win this Super Bowl, for Brady to get that seventh ring on his finger. Number one, like and Jonathan mentioned earlier, those middle linebackers, can they keep Mahomes in the pocket? With the linebacker, with missing their tackle, it's a big hole for the Chiefs to fill. It maybe is not a big problem now, but when it comes to game time, if they find a way to crack that, Mahomes can be in a lot of trouble because we all know for a fact Mahomes cannot handle the pressure of being inside the pocket. Once he's out of the pocket, that's where he becomes lethal. He can either run, throw across his arm, which you're not supposed to do, but while being a quarterback. So if the Bucks contain him within the pocket majority of the game, that's a big thing for them to do to limit the threat of Mahomes throwing. Number two, who's going to stop Tyreek and who's going to stop Travis Kelce? Tyreek Hill proved it last year in the Super Bowl. When the Chiefs were down, Mahomes threw a Hail Mary, closed his eyes, prayed, and who was Tyreek doing? Tyreek Hill was standing flat-footed, back standing straight, and caught the ball and still had time to turn and look and go. That speed of a receiver is something we've never seen before in the NFL. So to me, if you can contain him as well as Travis Kelce, which we know he's the best tight end on this planet right now, it's hard to stop a tight end of that height and that strength. So if the linebacker as well as if the defensive backs of the Bucks can contain him and limit his threat on the field, by all means, can't the Buccaneers will do nothing but take this game by ease. And number three, and most importantly, can Brady prove it once again? He's been there 10 times. This is his 10th one. Can he show to everyone that I can win? I am the reason why the Patriots had those 6 rings. I'm the reason. I don't need Belichick to be by my side for me to prove that I am the greatest. He's already the greatest of all time, as we said it before earlier. But to me, if he wins this game, there is nothing that can be ever said about Tom Brady ever again. And those are my 3 takes. Jonathan, what are yours?
All right, Buccaneers, their key to victory. With all this passing going on in the NFL, it's not even about the receivers. It's about those big guys, the ones that don't really get enough credit. I'm talking about the offensive line and the defensive line. Kansas City's offensive line needs to hold up against the Buccaneers' defensive front. They have 4 stud pass rushers. If Buccaneers are able to get pressure on Mahomes with only 4, oof, it could be a long day. It could be a long day for Patrick Mahomes because you do not want that. You have 4 pass rushers getting to Mahomes. You know what that means? That means there's 7 guys in the back covering mainly Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
Mhm.
Next is going to be turnovers. You're going to need a turnover to beat Mahomes. Mahomes, you're not going to just, you know, play a regular game. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's electrifying. You need a strip sack. You need a pick. You need to confuse him some way. Make him throw into a zone where he doesn't see the defender and get an interception and capitalize. The Buccaneers need to get a lead, and in doing so, they need turnovers. But overall, the Bucks want to win, and this is going to go back to their offensive side. If they want to win, they're going to need to run the ball. It's not even about Brady. It's about running the ball. They have Leonard Fournette, a former first round pick. They have Ronald Jones, and he was a second round pick. Very talented, both of these guys. Will Bruce Arians allow them to continue running the ball throughout the game? And here's some statistics. You know, the Chiefs defense. It's pretty good, right, guys? We could all agree. They've shown, promise. They've grown throughout the year. This postseason, they just exploded. They have the Kansas City Chiefs have had 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 5 sacks in 2 games. Impressive. But now, you know who leads their team in tackles? Tyrann Mathieu. In this
Honey
postseason.
Badger.
In this postseason, Tyrann Mathieu has 13 tackles, and that leads the team. You know what? That's telling me, like, yes, Tyrann Mathieu's a great player. You could always rely on him, but you never, ever want a defensive back leading your team in tackles when you have linebackers and Chris Jones on the D line for the Kansas City Chiefs. You do not want a defensive back leading your team in tackles. Will the Buccaneers capitalize on Kansas City's lack of weak run defense? Will they keep pounding it, or will Bruce Arians try to outperform Andy Reid and just keep throwing the ball? It's up to you. It's up to you, Bruce Arians. If you want the Super Bowl, then you gotta run the ball.
Well, guys, we've made it to the end. Now the biggest take of them all, prediction time. Who do we got winning the Super Bowl? Alan, who's your winner? What's the score? And who's your Super Bowl MVP? Go.
I know the odds aren't in my favor. Vegas odds not in my favor, but I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 27-20. I know.
After all that talk of Mahomes
I know all
saying,
that talk about Mahomes.
get out of here,
I'm
man.
gonna say Mike Evans for Super Bowl MVP. He's had many drops in the past few weeks in the postseason, but I think he redeems himself and becomes Brady's number one option here.
He
He
won't.
becomes the Super Bowl MVP. And yeah, I think it'll be Brady schooling Mahomes one last time. He's the heir apparent to the throne, like we said. He's on line to be the greatest of all time. But I think Brady isn't ready to relinquish that throne just yet. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ah. Jonathan, what do you got to say? Who's your winner? What's the score and who's your MVP?
All right, guys. It's time to put the money where our mouth is. I'm gonna go Buccaneers 38, Kansas City Chiefs 31. Brady's gonna get his 7th ring. He's gonna close the door. He's beating Father Time. He might get another one for all we know. But that's my prediction for Super Bowl MVP. Don't be surprised if it's a defensive end, Jason Pierre-Paul or Shaq Barrett. They need sacks. Let's see it. Let's see the outcome.
All right, now for my prediction, I feel like you guys have just completely disrespected the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the defending champions. They're the defending champions for a reason. They're in the position yet again to win another Super Bowl. The fact that just because it's Brady, they're the defending champions. You guys are completely disrespecting them on that. I have the Kansas City Chiefs. As much as it pains me being a Raider fan, as much as it pains me, the Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl by a score of 35-33. So a very close game. And I have Patrick Mahomes not only beating Brady, but having one of the best performances of his whole career. He's going to be throwing for 4 touchdowns. Mark my word, 4 touchdowns. And then he'll prove to everyone and to Brady that I'm the one. I'm the next in line. Your time is up. My time is now. You did everything you can, but it's time to retire. Enjoy your life. My time to shine. That's why I got winning the Super Bowl. Can't believe you guys disrespect the Kansas City Chiefs. Defending champions. Oh my God.
Well, that's gonna do it for us here at the Poly Sports Podcast. Everyone, make sure to tune in to Super Bowl 55 on Sunday, February 7th at 3:30 Pacific on CBS, and we're gonna be signing off here.
Later, guys. You guys have a
Peace out,
good one.
guys.
Three, two,
Chiefs are gonna
one.
win. Bucks are gonna lose.
What's up, guys? Arturo here again. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Polypost YouTube channel. Turn those post notifications on so whenever we upload another video, you'll be the first to know and you'll get to watch it. Alright, guys. Well, stay safe and you have a good day. Later.